Hi, so I'm Cassie. I'm up in my loft bed right now. I have a loft bed, and that's why there's Coco, and you can see my legs, and I'm practically hitting my head on the ceiling. That's why. So I've been learning sign language my whole life, and I really like it. And I've taken some classes at church and school, and learned from YouTube and stuff. So I'm gonna teach you how to do one of my favorite songs in sign language that's called My Redeemer. It's by Nicole C. Mullen. She's cool. She's awesome. It's a Christian song, obviously. It's really good. If you haven't listened to it, I mean, it'd probably be easier to learn the song before you learn the signs to it, but I mean, whatever. I don't care. You do you. So we'll start with the first verse. Okay? So it says, "Who taught the sun where to stand in the morning? Who told the ocean you can only come this far? Who showed the moon where to hide till evening, and whose words alone can catch a falling star?" So, you'll start with who, which we'll use this a lot in the song. Who is like this. It's kind of like you're shooting a gun on your chin. Who taught, because teach is this. No, that's hope. That's hope. This is teach. There you go. Teach, hope. Okay. And then taught is twice, like that. So who taught the sun, like this is the sun, right here, where to stand in the morning? And you don't have to do and or in, because you might not have time, I don't know. In isn't necessary. Words like, there are signs for like to, in, the, but that's called SEE, signing exact English, and that's a little different. That's more strict. We don't do that because we wouldn't want to have to be signing and go, who taught the sun, or the sun, where to stand in the, or where to stand in the morning. That'd just be annoying. And we get the gist, you know? So, who taught the sun where to stand in the morning? Who told the ocean? So ocean, you're going to do the sign for water, and then you're going to do waves. So who told the ocean you can only come, like, you kind of got like, come on, come this far. You'll just make a line showing this far. My dad just screamed. I don't know, he's working on a microwave, so I hope he didn't hurt himself. Okay, and then who showed the moon like the crescent moon, where to hide? You'll go up like you're hiding under your left hand. By the way, I'm right-handed. Like, I know in the video looks like this is my left hand, kind of. This is my right hand because the video flips it, but I'm right-handed, so that's my dominant hand. That's your main sign hand. So you'll do like the main signs, like moon's like this, sun is like this, and you use your non-dominant hand for that, but it's not the important hand. This is the important hand. So, where were we? So hide, you'll use your dominant, more important hand to do that, to hide till evening. So morning was like this, like the sun coming up, or morning, it doesn't matter. And then evening is like it going down. Can you see what I'm doing? Like the sun going down. Okay, so who showed the moon where to hide till evening? This part is the part that I had a lot of trouble with when I was learning. So it's whose words alone can catch a falling star. So the way I was taught was whose, and then you motion like to God, whose, because they're his words, words alone can catch a falling star. But I always had to just do whose words alone catch, or whose words catch, because it's a pretty fast part in the song. The song is like, whose words alone can catch a falling star. It's fun. So I'll go over that again. Whose, but you can simplify that if you want to. Words alone can catch, like catching something, a falling star. And they're pointing up to the stars. Well, I know, this is the chorus, by the way. Actually, we should go over the first verse first. We'll go over the first verse, and then we'll do the chorus, okay? So, who taught the sun where to stand in the morning? Who told the ocean you can only come this far? And who showed the moon where to hide till evening? Whose words alone can catch a falling star? Well, I know, this is the chorus now, I know my Redeemer. So Redeemer, this is the sign for So like teacher, student is learner, Christian is like Christ-er. So you get the idea though, like teacher. So that's just teach and then teacher. Anyways, so redeem, because this is like save, free. So redeem, lives. I know my Redeemer lives. Redeemer lives. I also want to mention that, so I'm learning sign language. I was doing sign language class at school, and my teacher always did, I think he did lives like that. Yeah, lives. But lived, whatever. But then when I learned, it was lived because I've been learning a bit older sign language, kind of, because my teachers have mainly been older besides my teacher at school. So you're just going to, they're not that different. Some of the signs differ. They've changed as they got older, or there's just different alterations of like every sign, and it's confusing. But I think if you look it up on some signing websites, they'll say lives instead of lives, or they'll say both. You'll just have to see, because yeah, it's crazy. Sign language is a little confusing sometimes, but you'll get used to it eventually, and it's a pretty easy language to learn, or at least communicate in if you need to, if you want to. So yeah, I encourage learning it. Anyways, I know my Redeemer lives. I know my Redeemer lives. And then you're wrapping everything into one bundle. All of creation, you'll do like a B kind of. Creation, and twice. Creation testifies. So like you see something, you're telling the story, because this is a sign for story. So you see, and then you tell. Testify. This life within me cries. There's also a common sign for cry is like this, because that's like crying tears, but this means more like cry out. So you make C's. It's kind of hard to learn. You make C's going like this, and then you go up like it's coming out of you. Kind of like you're throwing up or something. I know my Redeemer lives. So we'll go over the chorus again. I know my Redeemer lives. I know my Redeemer lives. All of creation testifies. This life within me cries. I know my Redeemer lives. Okay, So next is the second verse. So it goes, the very same God that spins things in orbit. So the very same, this is a sign for same, God that spins things in orbit, like it's a planet orbiting something. It's also like that, I think. This makes more sense to me. Orbit runs to the weary, the worn, and the weak. Now they're basically the same sign, which is this, like someone who's weak. So we're gonna do the sign for, we can go weary, and then worn for tired. This is a sign for tired, so just do worn, and then the weak, which is the sign for like anguish, sorrow, stuff like that, the weak. And the same, gentle, you'll just go like that. Hands, so actually I think gentle is one. Gentle hands, you'll just bring your hand in front of each other, so it's kind of easy to do because it's just gentle hands, you know. It's a swift movement. Where was I? The same gentle hands that hold me when, like a clock. So you go around when I'm broken. They conquered, like conquer. Yeah, it's kind of like evening, but it's conquered. So they conquered death to bring me victory. You're gonna grab, like you're grabbing stuff, and then you're celebrating. So you're gonna do X hands, hook hands, victory. Okay, so the very same God that spins things in orbit runs to the weary, the worn, and the weak. In the same gentle hands that hold me when I'm broken, they conquered death to bring me victory. Just, you can slow down the video if I'm being too fast, I don't know, or just rewatch it a bunch. That's how I learned it, I think. Now I know this second course adds a few extra words, so now is just now. 2 Y hands, now. I know my Redeemer lives. I know my Redeemer lives. And then let all creation testify. Let this life within me cry. I know my Redeemer. And then it goes into the bridge thingy. So it goes, I know my Redeemer, and he lives to take away my shame. Like brush your cheek like you're embarrassed. My shame. And you'll want to make sure you do my, because this is like owning something, not me. Me shame, that doesn't make sense. So, my shame, and he lives forever is kind of hard. You go, it's like only, and then why. Forever, I'll proclaim that the payment, you're gonna go like that with your middle finger. That, if you know the sign for Jesus, it's that, like the nails in his hand, so just do that. Ooh. The payment for, you'll bring your finger to your head, go for my sin, just down here, like victory was up here, now sin is down here, was the precious life he gave. But now he's alive, and there's an empty, it's like payment, but empty grave. So, I'm gonna do that again and point out some thoughts. So, he lives to take away my shame, and he lives. Forever I'll proclaim that the payment for my sin, you can take out the for if you need, because if you don't have time, you can take out the for. My sin was the precious life he gave. Okay, and then, but now he's alive, you can just say, now he's alive, or he's alive, because the part that says that in the song goes, but now he's alive, and it's really fast, so you can just say, he's alive, there's an empty grave. And then she goes, grave, like that. So you'll just have to do this for a really long time. This is like the mound of dirt, you know, on a grave. So you're just like tracing the mound of dirt. And I know my Redeemer lives, I know my Redeemer lives. Let all creation testify, let this life within me cry, I know my Redeemer. And then they repeat it a bunch, so I know my Redeemer lives, I know my Redeemer lives. Oh, I keep forgetting lives. Okay, I know my Redeemer lives, I know my Redeemer lives, I know my Redeemer lives. They say it a lot slower. And then he lives, he lives, he lives, he lives. Woo! And then you're done. She says some extra stuff in the background, so if you want to look up how to say that, I guess you can, but do you want to go over the whole song? I don't know, I'm asking you because you can't answer back. So we're going to go over the whole song. I might even add the music later. Maybe, we'll have to see. Okay, so, are you ready? Who taught the sun where to stand in the morning? Who told the ocean you can only come this far? Who showed the moon where to hide till evening? Whose words alone can catch a falling star? I know my Redeemer lives, I know my Redeemer lives. All of creation testifies, this life within me cries, I know my Redeemer lives. The very same God that spins things in orbit, runs to the weary, the worn, and the weak, in the same gentle hands that hold me when I'm broken. They conquered, I did that song wrong, okay. The same gentle hands that hold me when when I'm broken. They conquered death to bring me victory. Now I know my Redeemer lives, I know my Redeemer lives. Let all creation testify, let this life within me cry, I know my Redeemer, he lives to take away my shame, and he lives forever I'll proclaim. That the payment for my sin was the precious life he gave, but now he is alive and there's an empty grave. And I know my Redeemer lives, I know my Redeemer lives. Let all creation testify, let this life within me cry, I know my Redeemer, I know my Redeemer lives, I know my Redeemer lives, I know my Redeemer lives, He lives, he lives, he lives, he lives. You get the idea. There is the whole song. I hope you learned something, and I hope you are more interested in sign language now. And you should go listen to other videos, because watch like other YouTube sign language videos, because they're really fun and it's good to learn. And I know some like high schools offer ASL classes, and you could take online courses, whatever. YouTube can teach you a lot though for it, so I can make more videos too. I've already made 3 sign language videos: animals 1 and 2, and then food. I think I made a food one. Yeah. Okay, thanks for watching. I'm actually going to add one more video in the end with the music. So yeah.